I'm off to a business meeting. It's with a potential client who I've been talking to recently.
If Nikki Abercrombie can't secure a new client for her struggling small business events company, drastically damaged by the COVID crisis, she may risk losing her home.
I've just been reflecting on the last year and all the hustling that we've had to do to get in new business and just understand the new world. We're really showing them what the digital marketing side of things.
She's feeling the pressure of her 2 upcoming deadlines.
I think that will have some stress because of the timing. There'll be no overlap with the deferral and JobKeeper ending. I've got some houses here and I'm running out of money, so I could either sell my house or mortgage.
730 first met Nikki last July as thousands of Australians like her grappled with their home loan repayments.
The reason I deferred my mortgage payments was just to make sure I was managing my cash flow. So immediately I needed to look at day-to-day budgets to help the business keep running and help us keep running as a family.
The crisis crippled her business. She was doing everything she could to keep the wolves from the door. So, are you at the point now where you might have to go without life insurance?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to think about that, but yeah.
But selling the only home her son had known was then the last resort.
I feel like I could let it go if I had to, but it's not ideal. I'd like to keep everything the same.
And I'll give you $1,000.
7 months later, the economic mood has lifted. Money is cheap and the real estate market is still accelerating. There were 40% more new owner-occupant loans last December than the year before. It means 81% of mortgages are now back on track and making repayments. But that leaves 82,000 Australians who aren't paying back their home loans, leaving them caught between a rising property market and the banks, whose charity might soon run out.
There's a fine balancing point there that banks and customers are going to have to talk about when they get there. It's not in your financial interest. If you just keep deferring your payments, whatever equity you have in that asset, and it's probably, like most people, it's the biggest asset you'll ever have in your life, you don't want to lose that equity by getting further and further behind.
But if banks start posting dividends and providing that value to shareholders in this quarter while still knocking back deferrals, doesn't that become a slightly untenable, even ethical position?
The test is what is in the best interest of the customer. And there will be further periods of deferral for some customers where it's in their interest to do so. For other customers, that's going to be a call that's the wrong call for them.
How are you doing? Right, how are you doing? That's the way.
I still feel that failure that I felt 12 months ago when all this happened. Adding to the stress would be if we had to lose the house and adding to that failure.
So how long have you been here now, Nikki? It's about 8 years now. Yeah. Okay, all right.
With Nikki's $425,000 debt unpaid for almost a year, she's now seeking advice on selling the family home.
Even though, yes, I would be able to sell my house easily, I don't feel like I'd be able to get it back into the housing market.
Well, after talking to her and understanding where she's at, my advice to her is to beg, borrow or steal to keep this property.
There's no sugarcoating this. Come March, April, there are going to be businesses that are going to face some really tough decisions, and there are going to be homeowners, tragically, making some hard calls. But there's no such thing as an economic shock of the magnitude that we've experienced, where there's not tragically some casualties. What banks are working hard to do is to make sure that there are as few as possible.
There's a direct correlation between lockdowns, particularly when they're as severe as what we saw in Victoria, and economic activity. So for a while there, we had a two-speed economy where Victoria really suffering from that lockdown.
Tonight, 7:30 can reveal figures compiled by the banks that provide a clear picture of the financial pain caused by Victoria's hard lockdown. Victoria, more than any other state, has the most remaining deferred mortgages. 31% of the original deferrals granted last June are still not being paid back. By comparison, in New South Wales, only 21% of June's deferrals are still on hold. Other states and territories are down between 15 and 13%. The same goes for small business loans. Victoria still has 17% of last June's deferrals on hold. The other states range from 8 to 6% on hold.
When banks are looking at whether or not someone should take a deferral on their loan or extend an existing deferral, they take into account as many factors as they possibly can. And of course in Victoria they take into account that the business or the homeowner was impacted by a lockdown that's now over.
Nikki, in New South Wales, doesn't believe her bank will extend her deferral beyond April.
I don't know what all my options are once the deferral stops, whether there'll be any sort of other reduction, maybe interest only or something like that. So yeah, I feel a little bit left behind, just keep working hard and keeping everybody happy.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 7:30's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.